Hey, may I ask what you're doing here? Oh, yeah, I like games. Don't play them as much as I used to, though. Usually I'm pretty exhausted coming home from work, and I don't have a lot of time on my hands like I used to. At least not now as an adult. You know what? I should play. There's a lot of games here that I haven't played in a while, and some I've never even played at all, so... what the hell. Let me close my eyes, game random, and... Damn it!
The first video game console I owned was the Nintendo GameCube, and along with it came 3 games of series I've been a fan of to this day. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was one of them. I loved this game. The action, the speed, the treasure hunting. It was a hell of an introduction to the Sonic series for me. From then on, I pretty much played every mainline console Sonic game in existence. This doesn't count. Despite the quality of these games, I find myself coming back to the Speedy Blue Hedgehog time and time again, and in the year 2016, it was no different. This was the year that the franchise turned 25 years old. How did Sega celebrate this momentous occasion? A live stream, of course, and it was terrible. The insane amount of buffering, the sound quality was ear-screeching, and the presentation was all over the place. However, they revealed teaser trailers for the 2 upcoming Sonic games, Sonic Mania and the new 3D adventure dubbed at the time Project Sonic 2017. While everyone and their mother were foaming in the mouths for Sonic Mania, I didn't really care for it because I'm not a huge fan of 2D Sonic. I was a weird fucking kid. I was excited about the new 3D Sonic game, and it looked amazing. The action, the speed, classic Sonic is back? This should have been my first warning. Then months later, we got another trailer detailing they create a custom character for the game. This should have been my second warning. But the biggie was the E3 2017 trailer, and it showed a lot. Dr. Eggman has taken over 99% of the world, and it's up to Sonic and friends to take it all back. I loved how the story was presented, the gameplay shown, and at the end showing Shadow, Metal, Zavok, and Chaos back as villains. Which was intriguing, but it didn't matter because we got a new villain and he looked bad-ass. Sonic Forces was set to be released on November 7th, 2017. A few months after Sonic Mania's release and the same day as one of gaming's most anticipated releases, Red Dead Redemption 2.
This should have been my third warning. But I wasn't gonna let that faze me. I was already hyped for this game. I mean, I was really excited to see Sonic being serious again, so it can't be that bad, right?
This is already bad. Remember when Sonic games had those amazing cinematic openings when you start up the game? Yeah, me too. You mean to tell me they had all those CGI cutscenes for the trailers and they used none of them for the actual game? God, I haven't even started the game and I'm already bitching. Starting a new save file, it asks what difficulty setting we want. Come on now. The game starts with Eggman with his latest creation that will help him conquer the world. For real this time. Gotta say, the in-game cutscenes look really good. I would say these are as good as the cutscenes in Unleashed. Now we finally get into our first level, Green Hill.
Yay!
I agree that the abundance of Green Hill is getting ridiculous, but if it links well to the world building, which it does in my opinion, I'm okay with it. It's a nice, short, and sweet level to introduce you to the gameplay. I will say, Sonic does seem wonky with his acceleration as he starts slow and then goes really fast. I mean, that's exactly who he is, but I don't know, it's still weird. After Green Hill, we get a cutscene of Sonic saving Tails and folks before getting pummeled one-on-one from the baddies. It then tells us that Sonic was locked up and tortured for 6 months. Was the torture that bad you couldn't show it? The next scene, we see the whole gang being in disarray with the loss of Sonic, Tails losing himself, and the entire world at stake. Knuckles takes the reign as commander as they plan on their assault against the Eggman Empire. What were you guys even doing all this time? Oh, I guess you could count that 0.1% as something. And this leads you to customize your character. Each species have their own unique abilities for your adventure to start, and being able to customize based on face, body, and clothing. For better or for worse. Gameplay-wise, OC is basically Sonic without the boost and has a multitude of whip spins to choose from. Burst, Lightning, Cube, Void, Hover, Drill, and Asteroid. Each one have different attacks and abilities to traverse the level. For example, Burst gives you a boost in the air, and Lightning lets you dash through a line of ranks. Same problems as Sonic, but I like the weapon variety as you can use its powers to traverse the level however you see fit. OC is my favorite in that regard, and at the end of the level, you get a score based on your performance, and it is piss easy. If you keep your ranks and finish quickly, you'll mostly get an S rank. I hope you like cosmetics, because they give you a lot when you complete a stage. It's cool at first, but it does get annoying as you play through the game. Now we we get into how Tails is doing as he's trying to fix up Omega. But then, chaos appears.
Sonic, help me!
Okay. I have a problem with this. In SA2, Tails saw Sonic get blown up in outer space, and he was able to come into his own, fighting against Eggman, and now he's cowering in fear against an opponent that the gang has already dealt with before, and all of a sudden he needs Sonic's help? There, you happy?
We get introduced to classic Sonic, who is from a different dimension? I thought he was from a different timeline. Anyway, we start the first level as classic, and holy crap, this is horrible! I thought the physics from modern Sonic were weird, but this is absurd! His startup is slow, his controls aren't precise, and barely has any acceleration. Although you can fix it by just pressing down when you go down a hill, especially. It's still bad. When the gameplay is presented to me, I just play and get used to everything at my disposal, regardless of how janky it is. Playing through it, I think this is one of the worst controls out of any Sonic game. He should feel fast and efficient, and while he is in this game, the controls and level design really don't hold up. Previous Sonic games have platforming challenges to break the pace and makes you think on your toes quickly. That's what makes Sonic unique. Here, you boost, and that's it. There's no challenge, you just blitz through enemies like it's no tomorrow. Maybe it's because Sonic Team reusing the boost formula, they wanted to hold back on it. I just wish they did more with it. It also doesn't help when only 2 people did the level designs. Its controls aren't bad, but it's not fun when it's barely used. However, it's only a third of the total gameplay, so I'm not too upset. With OC, there is a variety depending on what whip you use, and the character has the same problems as Sonic, along with whip attacks that can launch you to your death. Lightning and Drill especially if you aren't careful. There are levels when both OC and Sonic are together, and these are nice since you can use both Boost and whip when you need to. Classic feels uneasy and slow, which shouldn't be the case. They literally had the blueprint for him in Generations, so I don't know why they made him like this. The levels themselves, they're not fun because they're short and not that much of a challenge. Not to mention they don't have any variety with its design. The set pieces look great, some of the best in the series, but I just wish there was more platforming elements, especially with the 3D characters.
Not to say the game is unplayable, it functions, but it's just very simplistic with its design. I wish there was more to it. What I was really looking forward to, though, was the story. Yes, I like stories in Sonic games, what of it? Looking back at the trailers, it showed a lot of promise with having a different tone than what the series was lacking since 2010. Now don't get me wrong, Cars and Generations, really good games, but they don't have the same riveting story as the adventure games, which to me, make them more memorable. Forces seem to be just as that. A story where Eggman takes over the world and it's up to Sonic and friends to stop him? Sign me up! This is what I was missing in the series, and so far,
none of this is good, Vector. That's why it's called war.
it's easy to understand?
The gang's first plan of world saving is to attack the death egg and retrieve Sonic. Oh, right, I forgot to mention, Sonic is alive! And well, as he's just chilling in his cell, with no scars, no bruises, no scratches. Did they torture him with tickles? OC infiltrates the system and gets Sonic freed as he is about to beat the ever-living shit out of Zavok. Okay, for some reason I was having trouble hitting him. I assumed that I would just have to jump right before he hits the ground so that I can hit him. And at one point I think I was too far to hit him, but then I realized I had to stay on the ground to bounce up and hit him. Whoa, 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 Sonic, how bad were those tickles? Now we escape the death egg with Sonic and OC meeting for the first time, and we get some story dumped from these text boxes about destroying a factory or something. I don't like how it's presented like this, but whatever. So we trash a factory, go our separate ways to destroy more bases. I think that's what we're doing. I really haven't been paying attention. Hey! We get to officially meet the antagonist that took Sonic down in the beginning of the game. Infinite. And my god, he looks sick! His colors, his tone, his personality. You give me an edgy son of a bitch, and I'm immediately a fan. Oh, Silva was there too, but who gives a piss? I like the back and forth that they have between one another. Infinite showing his dominance, seeing others beneath him, and Sonic showing his witty and cocky attitude despite getting his ass whooped earlier. Boss fight itself, nothing too special. Just dodge his attacks, get close, and hit him. If you get caught with his attacks, spikes and other objects will show up to hurt you. Anyways, I beat him. We then transitioned over to Classic and Tails, who are trying to track down Eggman and find out what he's planning. We see here that Infinite is powered by the Phantom Ruby, which is a a gem that lets its users to bend reality to their will. Realizing there are prototypes, they discard them all so that no one can counter them. Tails and Classic hear all this, and after pummeling down Eggman and receiving information that his plan will be in effect in 3 days. Tails and Classic go to find Sonic, and OC's checking out the source reading that the Resistance picked up earlier. OC finds one of the Phantom Ruby prototypes. He meets up with Classic and Tails, and...
Have we met before? Sonic!
Tails!
I'm not joking, that's how the cutscene played out. No talk about Eggman or the Phantom Ruby, although it would just be Tails talking. That would be awkward. Still, it's a weird cut.
It's been generations since I seen you.
I'll give you that one.
just as they are about to plan their attack, they get ambushed by robots and Shadow. Sonic goes into Sunside Heights to investigate, meets up with Shadow, and tries to talk to him to no avail. You fucking serious? Oh hey, here's the real Shadow to save the day. Come on now, I knew it was a fake powered by the Phantom Ruby. You could see the glitch effect. I'm not stupid.
That was a fake.
A fake? How?
The dichotomy of hedgehogs. Shadow explains Infinite has the power to create virtual reality projects, but we knew that. While that's happening, OC is tasked to take down some of Eggman's forces. I mean, robots. He runs into Infinite and uses his ability to manipulate the scenery. I really like this level because most of it has unique set pieces that take you upside down, to the side, while also dodging obstacles and enemies. Once OC reaches Infinite, he trembles as he remembers the last time he met Infinite with his overwhelming power. Thanks to Sonic's words of encouragement, OC finds himself the courage to fight back. I like this Infinite boss fight more than the Sonic one because the hazards can be hard to dodge and enemies show up to make you think fast on your feet. After the fight, we see that the OC's Ruby can counter Infinite's Ruby powers, but Infinite wins and leaves. At least finish him off or take the Ruby so that the Resistance can't stop you. At this point, there's not much to say until the climax except for finding out what the Phantom Ruby does. So the Resistance destroy the Death Egg, Eggman somehow has a camera in space, and we get to the confrontation. Just when they thought they were ready, Eggman has a trick up his sleeve with null space, a space of nothingness. Sonic, fastest thing alive, could not run a vacuum. OC gets sucked in trying to save Sonic, and we get this cool looking level that only lasts for 16 seconds! Okay, now we get to the real confrontation.
Let's go! Go! Take this!
So yeah, everyone is here, and they're all gonna die. If only we had one to counter those effects. I apologize for not talking much about the gameplay, but all the levels they have don't really have that much of a challenge, and they're stupid simple. Nothing new that stands out for me. These last few levels though, they have some meat in their bones. I wish the rest of the game was like this. OC climbing up to the top to stop the sun, modern Sonic blitzing through hordes of enemies in multiple ways, and Classic has an auto-scroller. Now we're reaching the end. We'll finally put a stop to Infinite once and for all with the reused boss fight for Metal Sonic.
No, wait. I can still fight.
Bye! Hope to see you again!
He's not coming back, is he?
With Infinite out of the way, we get to face the big man himself, Dr. Eggman, and his Death Egg Robot 3.0. This final boss has a nice climactic feel to it, and each character tackles each phase differently. Classic hits meteorites back at him, OC uses his whip spin while dodging attacks, and Modern is the same goddamn boss layout as Infinite's and Metal's. Overall, full boss. Eggman is defeated, all is well, and our heroes can finally rest from this god-awful story. Even Classic was like, I'ma head out to a good Sonic game.
Cheer up, Tails. I'm sure we'll run into him again.
F*** you. And that was Sonic Forces. Playing it again? Wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good either. There were prologue comics showing how certain characters came to be before the game released, how Zavok got here, Infinite's origins, where the Phantom Ruby came from. Not only that, there was free DLC in Episode Shadow. While it had a couple of nice gimmicks, it was the same repetitive gameplay throughout. Also, it showed how Infinite came to be after being confronted by Shadow.
Worthless. Don't show your pathetic face around me ever again.
I am not weak.
He is an edgelord through and through. At least I played what it had to offer. That means I don't have to come back to this game ever again. I 100% completed the game. Don't ask me how long it took. I was really looking forward to this game, showing that it was going in a different direction, taking some inspiration from the Sonic games of old in the 2000s, back when stories had heart and soul. It got me excited, and sadly, the story had a lot of plot holes, barely any development, and it was just boring overall. However, there were two major factors that became detrimental for this game's reputation. One, it marketed as from the team who brought you Colors and Generations, two of the most critically acclaimed 3D Sonic games. They knew how to make good games. They knew how to make the gameplay engaging, and yet this game felt like a slap in the face to the franchise. This was released 4 years after Sonic Team's latest entry, Sonic Lost World, so there were some expectations from me. It had all the time and resources, and they couldn't stick the landing. And two, Mania. That game was well received across the gaming sphere. It was a callback to the Sonic games of old, from 1 to 3 and Knuckles. It reminded folks why Sonic is one of the most beloved gaming franchises in the world. So of course, Forces had a lot of shoes to fill. And it did, just with some dirt and a bunch of maggots. Mania was developed by Headcanon, who had nothing to do with Forces, but this just shows that fans of Sonic can make better games than the people who own the rights to the character. It's really sad when you think about it that way.
This game was overhyped. It was meant to be a Sonic game unlike any other, with its serious tone, returning villains, and showing a lot of promise. If it was decent, then it wouldn't have been this hated among critics and fans. Instead, just let everyone scratching their heads, thinking, what the hell, they just played! The gameplay was repetitive, the story is all over the place, and it was just too short. I beat this game in 3 hours! Mania got the praise it deserved, but Forces is just another statistic of bad Sonic games. Mediocre at best. I think I might have outgrown this blue hedgehog. Maybe I should just stop believing the franchise and maybe not play any more of these games.